Alright, so finally got a victory with the 725. This is the double barrel shotgun. And I'm going to go through and commentate over that run. It was a less eventful run than most, so I'll probably have to cut sections out of it. We'll see. Dropping down here, whole bunch of bounties around. Not really rushing to get any of them, just loot up for a little bit. I say it pretty often, but I don't like picking up a bounty immediately because it usually gets poached. And sure, that's some free cash, but it's less about the cash and more about just giving me a direction to head in. I'd rather wait and get one for myself. Hear the footsteps. Hear the door quietly open, so I know this guy's going to be crouching. I don't know if he knows I'm down here or upstairs. Pretty easy kill. Dropped prone immediately. That's kind of a habit that I rely on a little bit too much. From the old Call of Duty days before I ever played Warzone. Certainly helped back then, but it's not really the smartest thing to do in this game because it just makes your head the center of mass. A little annoyed at that building. Stun over decoy, always. I'm quite a big fan of the decoy grenades, but anything that actively helps in a combat situation as opposed to, you know, before or after is typically what I pick up. This Origin 12 ground loot is crazy powerful, especially early game. Nobody really expects it and just delete people. Insane. Well, the front door was open. Not sure if there's someone in here still or if that was the guy that I was fighting before. If there's someone else in the area or if that was the only one. Always tempted to take the throwing knives just for the added utility of the extra melee damage when you swing it. It's really not worth it. How often do you actually melee people? I think I'm just a sucker for utility. Anything that is multiple purpose. Like sights that have, you know, hybrid sights, canted hybrids or whatever. It was very tempting, but unfortunately practical most of the time. A bounty over here. Slowly worked my way over to it.
You're clear to engage.
I found that I'm more accurate with this green org than even the green ram.
Gas is inbound.
Bounty's on the quad bike heading towards me. Wasn't sure if he was going to stop or just keep going. He must have seen the thing update to red, so he knows I'm here somewhere. See him crouched down in the bottom right. Saw me, definitely can hear me.
Bounty target is down. Well done.
Wasn't sure how long he was going to stay down there, so I smashed the window in the hopes that he would rush. But he actually started rushing as I ran towards the window, so could have gone badly, but hopefully did not. Ring Hollow, MP7 with crazy recoil, and the Synthetic Dreams is a really good LMG for ground loot.
Buy station identified.
Can afford my loadout now, so I want to go and get that ASAP. The more kills I get with ground loot, the more kills I need to get with my loadout weapon. Because one of my rules is that the primary weapon, the loadout weapon, has to be one of the majority of the kills for the match. So the sooner I get that, the better, really.
Requesting recon.
Pop the UAV just to see if I'm safe here or not. I get killed so frequently by people just camping near buy stations or rushing to loadout drops. Better safe than sorry. We get a good old 725 with the sawn-off barrel. I don't know what it is, but whenever I put any of the other barrels on, I get far worse with this weapon.
UAV is out of fuel. Returning to resupply.
No idea what it is, but as soon as I swap to the sawn-off, I notice a marked increase. I know there's someone in this building. Not looking forward to crossing this road. I'm in the top window. Get back to some decent cover. Sent an RPG at him, expecting him to duck back into cover, but he didn't. See him there? But he's not moving, so not sure what happened. Cruised up to the window and just chilled. But for a kill, can't complain. I don't know what got glint means, but wasn't really sure what to run as my secondary with this class. The RPG, I figure because the 725 can two-shot, but it needs almost all of the pellets to hit. The maximum damage you can do with one shot in Warzone is 150. So people have 250 health at full plates, which means you need to be hitting pretty much everything. So I figure maybe if I can tag someone with an RPG first, and then put two shots into them, it'll be much more reliable. And I also don't want to pick up like that Synthetic Dreams right there and start relying on it. I don't want to get more kills with ground loot than I have to. Which is pretty problematic because the range on this thing is basically hugging distance. And you're not frequently within hugging distance in Warzone. You see, I take this game much slower, much less aggressive. This is by far the weapon I'm least confident with out of the entire roster.
Enemy UAV overhead.
This was my 9th attempt with this weapon. I'm actually pretty pleased with how it went. I thought it would take a lot longer than it did. The Model 680 took 28 attempts, and the R9-0 28, and I still haven't completed it, so I don't really have a good track record with shotguns. For this one to be my least confident and my most successful, quite pleased. I was taking shots from the top of the blue slanted roof over there. Don't know where he is roughly. Just trying to circle around, use as much cover as possible, clear out a few buildings on the way. You know, heart beating wherever I can. Most people don't have their loadouts yet. I've got the advantage there. Oh, speak of the devil. This is my only ranged weapon. If I see him peek, try and tag him with that before I rush him.
Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone.
Hermie's still here. Pop the Deddy. Hear the window break, which I assume is up on the roof. And it is. Take him out. You can see that those first two shots, yeah, they were pretty accurate, but obviously not enough pellets hit him. Took two more afterwards. Pretty sketchy doing a reload with this weapon mid-fight as well. Taking the risk and waiting for dead silence to wear off so I can pick up the next one. Pretty unlikely that there are other people so close, because gas would have pushed him into me before that. Still, I would hope. I'm tempted to get this loadout drop. I'm not really sold on it though. Like I said, I don't want to be relying on another weapon too much.
Enemy UAV overhead.
I am ghosted, so the UAV is not a concern.
Moving. Never mind.
See someone moving around on top of the service station. He sees me. So not going to win a fight at that range. Try and keep some cover between him and I the whole time and start flanking closer. My plan here was to get on the other side of him so he'd have to rotate down into me when the gas pushes up. I considered using that Joker and dropping a few rockets on him, but get around to it. Not a very high success rate. Super effective, quite time consuming. I still don't know if there are other people on train station or near where I am now. Don't really want to be making too much noise while I'm stalking this guy. And moving again. I don't know if he was looking towards me there or if he's still looking to where I was. I had two options at this point. I could run, which I considered, or get really close to this wall. Sort of cruise past here. Maybe he's seen me, maybe he hasn't. If he does see me, hopefully he would push. One or another, he has to come towards me because of the gas, but it is a pretty slow moving circle. So I didn't really want to lay here for 3
Enemy
minutes.
UAV overhead.
I was prepared to, though. And just keeping cover between us. I'm gonna get a ping on the heartbeat. Saw someone else running in the distance over there. I think he tagged me with the sniper rifle with explosive rounds. And the original guy that I was stalking started firing back at him. I don't know if they're both alive at this point or just the one. Trying to get some cover between us. I'm assuming the guy shooting me is going to push me. But then you're hearing shots from different weapons here simultaneously, so obviously they're both still alive. See the red dots on the map. I presume he would have seen me then. Nothing on heartbeat, so he's got his loadout. Just tag him in an attempt to bring him closer. I have no idea what he was doing. Maybe he thought I was further away. There's the explosive sniper on the ground. There's the kilo. Swap out the RPG for that, just gives me a bit of range. Again, I am wary of picking up any ranged weapon because I know I sort of function best at AR range. So I can end up relying on those weapons very heavily. Mostly just listening at the moment. Being very cautious. I don't really have a plan in regards to rotations. I just wanted to keep kind of near the gas, kind of near cover. A few bounties around, so I do pick up some of those. Again, more for direction than anything else. Heartbeat wherever possible. I need all the information I can get when I'm using this weapon. So sketched when I'm using it. Not at all confident. Not particularly happy with this bounty's location because it means I have to cross the highway down here. Whenever people are in that little compound, they're usually in the big building on the second or third floor. It means he's going to have a good vantage on me all the way across. And so you're kind of looking towards that building, looking for glint. Flanking left to get to the cover as soon as possible. Trying to get away from those windows. Get some information, don't see anyone. Let's start coming in. Red dot on the minimap. You could see the traces coming out of the top right window of the blue building. I know where he is now. Waiting to see if he's pushing me or not. Clearly not. Check the window in case he's mounted up waiting for me. Pretty uncharacteristic of a player like this. I would expect them to stay up in the rafters somewhere. That's coming from the left. This building is cover. You can see him, but for whatever reason you can't shoot through that grate with any weapon. Checking for the original shooter out here. Just being cautious in case he's pushing towards me. This guy's not going to move. I don't know if he's seen me or not, but I can't shoot him from out here. I don't have any explosives. I don't really have an angle on him in here either. Gas is coming, so my thought process, just get between the zone and him. He's going to have to rotate towards me. Being very aware of the other shooter that's up in the hills somewhere. Just keeping an eye out for that. Seems odd to me that someone would be up there with an automatic weapon firing at me. Usually they're snipers in the hills. I wasn't really sure what was going on with that. Trying to work out where best to hide. Like, his bounty indicator is going to tell him that I'm still within 50 meters. Because I am. Or is it 75? I'm not sure. It's still going to be red. He knows I'm close. So even after it expires and he's pushed towards me by the gas, he's going to be looking behind close sources of cover, right? So if I was behind that wall, I would expect, if our roles were reversed, I would immediately check behind that wall. And then I would check where I am now. But I'm kind of limited in regards to options here. I also need to be close enough that I can jump out and blast him with the shotgun. Is again a hugging distance. So just track him with the heartbeat. Stay as close as I can. You can see he's moving further out to the right. Starting to worry he's running up the hill. And then he comes back. See him through the gap. Pop dead silence just in case. Easy kill on that guy. He was getting shot by the person in the hills. I'm just being aware of that in case he starts shooting at me. Head the other direction. I don't want to be in the hills with the shotgun, that's for sure. Much more comfortable in this area. There's a bounty in this building, so I'm heading for that. Start beating whenever I can. Wasn't particularly impressed with the spawn of this bounty. So far away. Fill the rooftops and start peeking out towards our friend. Wasn't sure if he was going to get aggressive and rotate towards me or just go up further into the hills. Makes sense that I don't find him. Pretty typical of those kind of players. He'll finish the game with 1 or 2 kills. He'll be on top of the hill, top of some huge building by the end of it. Start moving towards the bounty. I still don't want to rotate into the hills, so there are more buildings out here. A few planes, but once I cross them, I'll be in a better situation than if I headed up into the hills. Staying close to the gas, trying to flank towards cover. Don't ever want to be caught out in the open. There's a buy station here, and I do have a gas mask, so I can still go and use that. So I do. Pop a UAV, buy another one for later. Munitions box to refill my C4. And another one for later. Refresh the gas mask. And back to it. Getting whatever information I can from the UAV. I know which house this guy's in now. Also telling me that there's no one else in the area, although we have had the free loadout drops, so there could be ghosted players literally anywhere. But I feel a little more comfortable moving towards them. Easy kill on that guy. Had to use the kilo because he's running out into the open field. I didn't have dead silence, so I wasn't at all comfortable pushing him with the shotgun. He was taking shots at someone, but I'm not sure if he killed him before I killed that guy or not. I was a little annoyed to find a C4 there after I just used a munitions box. I wasn't taking this game particularly seriously. Kind of fuck around a lot, checking his weapons to see if there's anything better than the Kilo. I think the Kilo as an AR is definitely in my top 3 like ranged weapons, like mid to long range, especially with the VLK on it. I'm not really a big fan of the VLK, but it's undeniable that it's the best kind of longer range scope to put on an AR. Yeah, the cubbies on my way through. I'm trying to get to a building that I feel a bit safer in. This gun shop. I almost always end up here whenever I play Plunder. I don't know why. It's so populated, I guess, because of everyone in Superstore. Really just waiting for the gas at this point. And I'm hoping it'll push me towards a advantageous area with a lot of buildings.
Vital deployment reporting up. Finish
When I saw
deployment.
the circle, I was not happy.
Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone.
It can end up being on the terminal, but it could also end up being on the tower or just in the middle of the
Falcon
airstrip there.
copy. UAV beginning flyover.
Pop another UAV by self-revive, because why not? I wouldn't expect it to be very useful, but if we're going to be up near ACT, then I may be getting sniped. Maybe people on top of the terminal rooftop. Obviously at shotgun range it's not going to help very much, but if there are snipers about, sure.
UAV
Being very aware of the guy on the right and
returning to
electronics.
resupply.
UAV is telling me he's moving towards the terminal now. Kind of hoping to cut him off. UAV's expired, so I'm not very confident on his position anymore. Because he showed up on the UAV, it also means he'll show up on the heartbeat. I'm trying to get close enough that I get a ping. Maybe he's headed into the terminal, maybe he's not. Maybe he's in these aqua buildings here.
Gas is moving.
It's not a huge priority. I want to get on this roof. Get the high ground. It's the best position in the area currently. Would kind of expect anyone coming from my direction or from electronics to be heading up here. In my eyes, this is the place to be. It's kind of... I was kind of surprised that the other guy wasn't already up here, or that I didn't find anyone up here already. And again, I'm just messing around. I've also got one spectator, which is the guy I just killed crossing the field before. He's waiting to see me do something with this 725. I always feel a bit weird when I have a spectator. Guarding this grapple line. There are a few to get onto the roof. I think one on the far side. This is the only one on this side of the building. I'm just kind of gatekeeping it, waiting till the gas covers it, so I know that nobody's going to be coming up here from this direction. See, it's covered now. Don't have to worry about that anymore.
Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone.
I was pleased with this circle. Still lets me stay on the terminal. Very nice. Checking the roof, couldn't see anyone. I'm not really sure what I want from this. An AR is probably more useful than a sniper or anything at this point. But again, I don't really want to be getting the ideal secondary, because then I might not ever use the 725 again. In this case, I just went for a restock, so now I've got stuns. I don't know if this circle is going to end up in a decent position or not. I'm hoping I can at least, if I can't get within shotgun range, I can at least get within stun range. And stun range makes it a lot easier to get to shotgun range. If I can spy anyone below. I'm assuming at this point there's a couple below me. No one in ATC. Just checking out what other options I have when I jump off this building. That whole leg to the right is in the gas. It's not an option. There's one further out over here near the vehicle on the map. You can see someone in the distance jumping over the railings. He's pushing up to this cover. I do the same. Takes 2 shots. Dancing a little bit. Managed to hit a stun on each other.
Gas is moving in.
Thankfully all the pellets of those 2 shots took him out. They all hit, which is a kill. His MP5 was very close. Checked out the guy's M4 just in case it was better than the Kilo, but it's not. Zooming in on the map, checking the circle to see if I'm still safe on the roof here, which I am.
Gas is closing in.
There's still 5 enemies left.
Copy cash drop.
Again, just screwing around.
Only 5 left.
These shots down there, so we know where 2 of them are. Making sure I'm still in the zone. Wait to see what the gas does.
I need recon on my position.
Pop the UAV and that shows
Gas is
everyone
moving
that's
in.
left.
New safe zone located.
Take that guy out pretty easy. I was a little concerned at that point because another one of my rules is that I have to have at least 10 kills. So I knew I needed to get 2 more. So I got that guy with the kilo. I know where the last guy is, so I'm trying to flank to get between him and the zone. I always like to get the final kill with the weapon I'm trying to work with. Not always feasible, but I do my best. This guy either has to show up to my left, which I think the gas is now covering, or directly in front of me.
Gas is closing in. Reloading.
Footstep. And there he is. 10 kills exactly, 6 of which are with the 725, 2 with the kilo, and 2 with just ground loot at the start of the game. Fail on that, go and show the builds. 725 with the sawn off, as I said. Sleight of hand feels necessary. Rockin' Ghost for most of it. Restock for the stun grenades. This was the kilo build that I picked up. Not how I would typically run it, but there it is. And I'll see you next time.